For those of you that are new, my name is Matthew Holman. I'm the founder of Commerce Catalyst. Commerce Catalyst, without getting into the whole fun little story of how it came to be, is really just kind of exists because I love community. I've learned so much from the community here, from networking, connecting other people. Catalyst, that is essentially its vision, its mission is to try to connect people, help you find resources. That's why we host lunch and learns like this. We've been doing workshops this year. We did a TikTok workshop in January. We're doing an email workshop with Jimmy Kim flying in early April, which I'll give you some more details about. And we have our big conference in September. So really the whole goal here is to meet people. We've got a Slack community, a lot of fun things going on. But let's get into what we got today. So first up, I'm not sure if you noticed how good the food was. Normally I just get pizza. So thanks, Carl, for making me feel like I'm just kidding. Some amazing food, thanks to our sponsor, Rapid Talk. Honestly, this panel came together. David Barnes connected me with Carl. We're sharing a little bit of what they're doing. And I know this is such a top of mind topic, not just in e-commerce, but across the board. So I think this is just really well timed. So thank you for coming forward and doing that. And I would love for you to take a couple minutes to tell us a little bit more Rapid Talk as our sponsor.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Hope you're getting full. So I was thinking about how to talk about Rapid Talk, and it's pretty simple. So instead, I'll take up my space, because that's something we should all learn to do. And I'll tell you how Rapid Talk became alive. So in 2011, I spent 10 of the last $12,000 to my name from washing cars as a high schooler, and bought a short code number on Twilio, 63975, for 10 grand. And wasn't really exactly sure what to do with it, but texting was becoming a thing. So I convinced all of the bars and nightclubs at the University of Alabama that I was a student at, Roll Tide, to let me pay them for the people that would attend these events. And fast forward 5.5 years later, I collected 600,000 college student cell phone numbers across 17 SEC schools, and could go on my computer with my friends in my dorm room and send a text out to 1,000 people that went to Wine Wednesday last week, and watch all of them move from one bar to the next because they got an incentive to go to the other one. It was really cool to have that power. Well, didn't last too long. I got an offer from Live Nation to sell the database. I left it, and I got into the wildest sales opportunity of my life, selling credit card processing. How many of you guys have had problems with your credit card processing over the years? Yeah, good luck to those salespeople. I learned that somebody would be my best friend because I saved them 1/10 of a penny, and then I'd be their worst enemy because somebody saved them 1/10 of that 1/10 of a penny. So got out of that space pretty quickly and realized that I needed to have integrated technology. So I raised a bunch of capital, which is a challenge in itself for any of you entrepreneurs that have done that. God bless. And I formed today what is the Burger King mobile application, touchscreen kiosk, and website, and licensed that technology to other brands like Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, Panda Express. And in 3.5 years, successfully installed 42,000 restaurants across 70 countries, and was losing my mind. I was aging faster than I could imagine. I saw my first gray hair on my beard, and I was like, this is not the space for me. I want to breathe. I want to live. I want to be, a 27-year-old kid. So I was fortunate to go into code review with brands like Square and Samsung and Bank of America Merchant Services. And in 2019, February, when the world was kind of questionable, was fortunate to exit the company to Samsung. And for the last 4.5 years prior to Rapid Talk, I owned and operated a company called Referizer, which supported 93,000 brick and mortar health, wellness, and fitness franchises like Orange Theory and Elements Massage with their text and email marketing. Well, all this sounds really accomplished, but every one of my organizations had one challenge in common, and it's we got all of this data and had no idea how to use it, and our customers wanted to interact with us in ways that we didn't support, like over the phone 24/7 and speaking in Cantonese. Also having a web chat feature that didn't pull out of our knowledge base so that customers were ultimately going to the web chat and then left without the answers that they needed. So one of my friends was like, hey, you need to download ChatGPT. And I said, my privacy, I don't even have Instagram. And he said, Carl, do it. So obviously, how many of you guys use ChatGPT multiple times a day? I hope you've realized don't use it during lunchtime or in the morning because it's really slow. It needs its coffee. But Yeah, Rapid Talk was born. So today, Rapid Talk is a omni-channel solution supporting inbound and outbound calling, inbound and outbound texting, and inbound web chat, all through a unified prompt and unified database, which is unique in its proposition because there's a lot of incredible AI companies out there, but they're doing one piece of that puzzle, whether they have nailed the web chat, nailed the inbound texting, but to have everything for a business in one software that you're managing from one place with one centralized database has helped us to scale with some badass brands like Built and some others that we're really proud to be behind. So if you guys are looking for a way to be incredibly customer-centric, meet your customers wherever they are, 24/7, 365, on whatever platform they're on, in the language that they want, Rapid Talk's a great solution for you. Thanks, guys.
Well, Carl, my wife will tell you a little gray in the beard actually is sometimes preferred. So at least that's what she tells me. So, okay. All right. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce our moderator for this panel. This is Paige, the founder of Elon Pure. Paige, I'm going to hand this mic to you and let you take over. We're going to run till about 1 o'clock, maybe a few minutes before for Q&A, and then we'll wrap up there.
Perfect. All right, you might have to let me know if I'm going overtime because I can get really excited about AI. Just before I dive in and introduce everyone, I just want to say this is really exciting because for me specifically, Elon Pure hasn't even been live a year. And I haven't had to go raise outside capital because we have been leveraging AI. And I think it's important to note, I still don't even think we're leveraging it as much as we should be. So how many of you guys feel like you're like, yes, I'm leveraging it to the best of its ability? And that is why you're here. Oh, okay, we got one in the front. But everyone else, you're in the right place, and I'm super excited to chat with each of these guys today. We have a rock star panel, and we're going to learn so much. So I'll just do a quick intro. Actually, I would love for each of you guys to do a quick 2-sentence intro of yourself if you can. I'd love that.
Sure. I'm Jeff Newman. I come from Built Brands. I run the e-commerce direct-to-consumer portion of the company. Been doing it since day one. So it's seen a lot of growth, a lot of expansion in the industry and capabilities of what we've got. So this is really great to be here.
Love that.
All right, hi. My name is Keegan Trooping. I'm the e-commerce manager for Kent Outdoors, which is an outdoor brand conglomerate. Most of the brands have been around a long time. They're leaders in the industry, and they're very new to e-commerce and selling D2C. So we've been trying to find the best ways of, making sure we stay true to our brands, but also are pushing forward into the e-commerce space. So it's been really fun to be able to not only launch our websites as brand new websites, but see the growth in 1 year. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, what we're going to dive into first, I think is what everyone is here for, is how do we get higher conversions? What's the answer through AI? And so start kicking this off, why does product discovery matter? And how do you actually get it through the use of AI? Anyone, and by the way, anyone can answer. I'll do direct names as well, if you feel prompted.
Yeah, I think ultimately customers are looking for speed. How many of us get pissed off when Amazon takes 3 days to get a package? So when we're at a website, like me, for example, I want a snowboard. I've been skiing my entire life, and Keegan is definitely the most knowledgeable person in my space to learn about snowboards. So I got to learn with Keegan. I need a 162 wide snowboard, and I created a Rapid Talk number for Arbor and got to have a conversation with it like, hey, I'm new to snowboarding, I'm 200 pounds, I'm 6'5", and I have no idea what I want. So to be able to leverage on your websites, on your website, on wherever it is, a chat function that enables customers to get the answers that they want faster is incredible, let alone when they don't know what binding can fit on a board or just the specifics of how things mix together. And having a knowledge base that you can upload to whatever AI tool you're using that can help your customers get the answers that they want so that we're not dealing with the most treacherous thing in e-com, which is our returns, because the customer got what they wanted immediately. That's got to be a win for everyone in this room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes into a lot of the brands I represent, and there's very technical products, and there's a lot of options out there, and they're not cheap, right? When you're buying something that you are trusting your life with, doing an extreme sport, you want to know why you're buying the product. And a lot of people, even if you're just trying to get into it, you don't know. And so that speed of being able to access, a very intelligent answer to what product you should buy, whether you're just trying to learn or you're an expert, and that's a very easy way to get it quickly.
I think another element in product discovery where this comes in is like on Amazon. You have the recommended, also bought with products. Not sure if people know this or not, but that's 35% of Amazon's revenue comes from that element alone, and it's driven by AI. And so it's able to take all of those elements, the vast data that Amazon has, and discover, help you identify these products that can also be bought with what you're buying, and it just boosts your bottom line overall. I mean, AI is fantastic in this element.
I also think it's important to know it puts the control back in the consumer's hands. So when they can actually type a question in on your website and they can be the ones that get the answer, it's like, they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy this, right? So when you can put the control back in their hands, usually you're gonna end up winning a lot faster, because then they're not typing a question into your customer support team and get an answer a week later, you know? How many people have done that and never even gotten a response back? So that's another huge, huge piece to that. Now, I want to learn a little bit more about Rapid Talks feature with voice and things like that, and how it actually stands out, because it's super interesting just to me personally.
Yeah, did you call the number we made for you?
I just got it right this morning before I came. Should we do it?
On speaker.
All right, we're calling everybody. This is unplanned. So let's go here. We're gonna do this live. All right, let's see.
Speak any other languages, feel free to do it.
Oh, we do not speak any languages here. I wish. All right, we're opening up David's.
I tested ours, and it was pretty solid.
Was it? Okay. All right.
Hi there, you've reached Elon Pure, your go-to for clean, natural-looking self-tanning and body care essentials. What can I help you with today? Product questions, shipping info, or something else?
Product questions.
Awesome, I'd be happy to help with product questions. What specifically would you like to know about our products?
What are the ingredients in the products?
Our
Searching.
It looks like you're searching for the ingredients online. I can also provide you with the information over the phone. Would you like me to read it out to you?
Yes, please.
Our self-tanner is made with ingredients like coconut oil, shea butter, and green tea extract, and it's also infused with a hint of citrus for a refreshing scent. The full ingredient list includes coconut oil, shea butter, green tea extract, citrus essential oil, and aloe vera juice. Is there anything else you'd like to know about our product?
This is it. Thank you so much. You got to say thank you to your chat, all right, guys? I learned that. You know, you got to be nice. You got to be nice to them. That's amazing. That is it firsthand, you guys. Let's give that a round of applause. That's so fun. All right, so going into our second favorite thing to talk about is really retention. And we've got the conversions. We have some tricks for that. Going into retention, how does AI actually help retain customers and increase that LTV?
So I'll jump in here. With retention, one of the biggest things that Built does is our email list and segmentation and our text messaging list. That is by far our biggest tool and most profitable tool for retention. Being able to take AI and create a segmented list of who's the most likely next buyer, what products we've got coming up, what flavors are coming up, who would be most likely to purchase this particular flavor. It's all driven right now by AI. It's keeping that consistent, relevant talking points in front of our customers the right way at the right time.
Right.
It's been fantastic for us.
How many of you use workflows in your day-to-day basis? Raise your hands proud. Keep your hand up if you enjoy working with workflows. We'll consider two halves, one whole of a person in a room of everybody. With AI, your workflows can properly disappear. And that, for a marketer, is incredible. The fact that you can have a personalized one-on-one conversation, knowing where that customer originated and meeting them where they're at with a really customized response that isn't canned, doesn't get better from a retention aspect. So saying, like, hey, I'm new to Orange Theory, I just took my class, it kicked my butt, and I didn't come back for 4 days, that's the time for your tool to reach out and say, hey, you know, it's been 4 days, but before that, proactively say, great job on your workout today. I'd love to make a customized plan for you to recover. So I think just being ultra personalized and meeting customers where they're at in the way that they want to be met, you know, it doesn't get better from a retention side.
I would agree. Regarding that on the retention side, how do we avoid the over-reliance on it? Because there is still something beautiful about the human connection that I think when you go so far on that side, you do lose a teeny bit of it. So what's your recommendation, say, to like some of these e-com brands that want to leverage it as much as possible, especially when they have teeny, teeny, tiny margins? So we need AI as much as we can, but still have that touch where community means so much to so many people.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think that the ability to, one, instruct customers into like a really you're happy with your purchase, and you can come in with no knowledge to a brand, and you don't know your level, again, relating to outdoor style of products. If you can come into a brand with no knowledge, ask a couple of questions. Got to give the shout out to Anagram that we use in our apps or on our PDPs. It's been a great tool to just kind of instruct people who have no knowledge base about what they need or what they want. And like you said, you know, you didn't know what size board you needed, what style you should ride, and that was pretty easy to figure out. And you can go through as many FAQ pages and text sheets and all of you just get lost in numbers, right? It just becomes so much. So it's really fun to be able to integrate a tool or just a chat that you can be confident with what you're going through.
Yeah.
With no knowledge.
Yeah.
And
No,
No,
I think that's great. Absolutely. Another thing that really to not lose that human touch is being able to have the right safeguards in place and the right crossover points. You can get a little too technical sometimes. AI is very, very good at having the right answers at the right time, but what it doesn't have is the empathy. And so when the AI can notify, hey, this customer may be very passionate about what they're trying to talk about, or they're frustrated. Having those safeguards in place that they can then switch over to a human, an actual agent, I think that can help elevate your AI experience on your site.
Yeah, I think when you're over-reliant on the customer support side a little too much, then you might get those bad reviews if they can't talk to a human.
May I?
Yes, please.
Okay. Does anybody here manage or own a call center or have any interfacing with a call center? Are you not raising your hand because it's a very tough job? Okay. So how many of you guys deal with call centers or have called somebody that all of you deal with customer support and it goes to a call center? So for those of you that don't know, a call center is the highest churn in any aspect of a business. Your average call center agent lasts 3 days in America. 3 days in a business. That is brutal for you. How many people are in your call center?
About 150.
What's your churn?
Right now we're at like 8.5 days.
8.5 days?
Wow.
That's, you lose sleep over that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
My wife's telling me I'm going great.
yeah, we'll talk after. So something that I learned over the last 9 months of deploying Rapid Talk is that customer service agents actually love their job. The part that they can't stand is doing the same thing over and over and over again. So if you can employ your customer service agents to handle tasks that are unique to their job title and not, dealing with I'm just going to read off my screen and this, that, and the other, but actually on the empathy side, reason with a customer and find a solution, that person, you have people that do that I can imagine are higher up in your call center that stay in their job.
Yeah, there usually are leads or managers at that point. So if anyone, honestly, I hate telling this. Most people, I tell them if they last more than 2 weeks, they'll end up being a manager at our call center just because that's how churns in call centers are.
Yeah, so find the mix for your AI to date your humans.
Oh, that's a good one.
You'll have a
I like
customer
that.
service experience.
We'll remember that one. That's awesome. I love that. Well, okay, question on the side of getting to know your customers. Because it's like, yes, AI is great when you can think about the automations and you can plug all of that in, but getting down to the basics of it, what prompts do you guys recommend to then start sourcing some of those answers to then begin to create some of these customer journeys that are going to allow you to utilize AI? This might have been one that was stumped. I didn't prepare them with this one.
Well, I'd say to prompt the customers again, the tool that we've been using mostly on Kent Outdoors stuff is it gives you a couple of suggested questions, again, how to find your product and what makes this right for you. Is this made for a beginner? What is this made for? What is it made for rough conditions or, I think that starting the conversation with the customer is really important as well, and that human interaction comes into it as a follow-up kind of, where we had a great example just last week where we had a customer call in, wasn't able to get an answer. Our team takes lunch, it's okay. Oh. But, and 20 minutes later, she came back, she called the customer back, and he was actually already able to figure out what fin he needed for a replacement on his board. He was able to place his purchase confidently, and there was, once she called him, he was stoked and thanked her for calling him back, first of all. Human interaction still helps. But also was stoked about the tool and how easy it was to use, and he got his answer and he was able to make that confident purchase. So
That's awesome. Yeah. I think other questions you can prompt too are like even just on your site, like, why are you here? Like, you can start to do some of those things and do post-purchase surveys. We're actually working on one right now. There are things you can do to actually start to learn and then boom, kick off those automations. We're trying to do that right now, and it's been kind of fun to see.
I think it's also really important to, we all struggle, everyone in this room, no matter what business you're in, with integrations. And looking at your partner that you're choosing to be that front-facing application, and does it integrate into your CRM and into your reporting tool and into your Wizmo ticket order system or whatever it may be. So having that integration, because then you can know, you might be able to guess why that person's there. So being front-facing and ultimately say, hey, this is your 9th time visiting our website in the last 2 weeks. What's holding you back from making a purchase? So just leveraging those tools and those integrators to really ensure that customer journey is as clean and simple as possible.
I like that. I like that. All right, well, now we're going to get into this third part, which is engagement. So we've covered conversions, retention, now engagement, because we do know the attention spans of everyone is like, I even find myself, I'm scrolling TikTok, and if it doesn't get me excited within the first second, I'm out of there. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we have to think about that with AI. Attention spans are changing, so AI is there to help give them those rapid fire questions and engage them quickly so that they don't lose interest in your actual brand or product, whatever it is. So with AI, how do you guys personally see it helping engagement? And then, in turn, it really does help the LTV as well, because you have to keep them engaged. What are some tips you guys have for that?
It's a good question. Really, when it comes to engagement, I don't know, this one's actually a little bit difficult. The way that Built is set up, we don't have a lot of products on the site. We've got right now, just because we've blown up on the retail side, only 3 products on built.com. So getting that engagement up front is a little bit difficult. However, we do get a lot of engagement on the customer support side and on the social media side. Our social media is just off the charts engaged, and being able to take some of those comments and feed that into our AI elements and our customer database and really what we're doing with customer service and building out that model. It's invaluable, I guess. I don't know. That's not really the right answer to your question.
Well, no,
but
it makes sense. I think what I'm seeing a lot on social media specifically is a lot of people will start to engage through, I think I've been seeing ManyChat a lot. So they might post something, hey, you want to learn more? Then just comment this. I'm actually seeing that a lot on LinkedIn as well. So it's small things like that where they're still increasing engagement, but leveraging AI to where that person doesn't have to send that message out a million times, but they're keeping their interest. And in a world where we just cannot keep interest at all, it's so important to leverage AI for the different types of things to engage them.
I'd say as well with that, using the AI tools that are, if you're a small team, to help produce those blog posts or some interactive content pages is huge. You want to make sure that on those pages you have call to actions as well, because you have a lot of good data. If you are presenting any type of product, you can create a super fun, engaging page, but a lot of brands miss it without having a buy now or a call to action right on the page. And so utilizing AI to write a quick blog post is super easy, and you can throw it on a page, but then what's it doing for you? So making sure that you also have those call to actions inside those pages, I think, is really important, but is awesome if you don't have the time to sit down and write, pages every day.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I think, so Carl, on the Rapid Talk side, how are you seeing some of these engagement metrics boost sales?
Yeah. I think I'll just give you some facts. If we look at our average call center, their time to get a customer resolved is 26 minutes pre-Rapid Talk. We're well below 5 minutes within 1 minute of deploying Rapid Talk to their solution.
Wow.
What does that do for you as a customer when you used to call Delta and spend 2.5 hours on the phone, pray that your phone signal works the whole time and doesn't hang up, and now you're getting an answer to your question in under 5 minutes? What does that do for you guys? It's awesome. So I think that, ultimately as consumers, and this goes back to your last question on how do you get more personal, and yeah, it's just, we're in an age of now. And we want answers now. And if you don't get the answer, I might not ever buy from you again. So you got one shot. And all of us in this room also struggle with acquiring customers at a decent price.
Yeah.
So the fact that that customer came in doesn't mean that they're going to buy. And something that every brand that we've interfaced with prior to Rapid Talk and prior to me kind of screaming at them in a nice way is that they don't ever look at their past customer list. Like we work with brands like Club Pilates and Yoga 6 and Cycle Bar that have thousands of customers that were in their database from a year ago that had one automation set up and they got one text in the last 365 days. That lead cost them $150 on average. That's pathetic that they're not reaching out to these customers that they paid money for, that maybe engaged with their brand once upon a time, and they haven't reached back out to. So, yeah.
That is very interesting. Well, with that being said, where do you feel like AI is going to be going within the next, it's going to change rapidly, but the next year, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I think, sorry to steal the flame, but I think that, how many of you have family members that don't use ChatGPT today? Isn't that wild to you? So I encourage you to tell them, try the chat challenge. Delete Google or don't use Google for 1 week. And if in 1 week you don't like what AI has done for you, then let them say something to you. But I guarantee you that all of them will say that you just leveled up their life to a whole nother level. So the answer to your question, where do I see AI going personally? I think that every business is going to be purchasing a Rapid Talk-esque solution in the matter of the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So my team at Rapid Talk, raise your hand if you're here on the Rapid Talk team. Hell yeah. Is laser focused on this land grab that we're in, because we know that every business and person potentially is going to be purchasing this solution, bless you, in the next year, 2 years. So it's a matter of, I think, on our end of having the ability to sell a solution that hasn't been burned by everyone. How many of you have been screwed by a marketer in the past for tens of thousands of dollars? Like, it's absolutely insane. So to be able to show a solution to somebody that hasn't already been screwed over for 6 figures or hasn't seen it in the first place, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard, is incredible. So to further answer the question, I think that AI is going to help our lives to get the answers that we need faster in the way that we want it, on the platform that we want it, and ultimately get us, the Amazon model of getting the things that we want now.
That's a fantastic answer. Keegan and Jeff, you're more than welcome to add to that as well, but that about does it.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And to your point of, like, how many times have you tried to Google something random? Like, what was that actor in the movie, right? Like, with AI, you can train it so much quicker. It's like, there was a rainy scene with act as a movie expert it was early 2000s, and there was a rainy scene, and there was probably this guy, but maybe it wasn't. You can find it. But the thing I think that is a little tougher to learn is that training and of going backwards with AI. But then you can get answers that if you ask it right away, like, what was that movie, it might not be able to put out anything. But if you go backwards and build and build and build, all of a sudden you have this movie expert that's giving you the exact movie, the film location, the director, everything about it. And I think it's really gonna be just so much easier once people also kind of just integrate that more into their lives, of like the backfilling, and then you have an expert.
Absolutely.
Long story short.
I think also ChatGPT personally has helped me communicate better. I learned how to type things better, although my spelling it was bad before and now it's even worse, but it allows me to really think about what I want, because when I say it wrong, it doesn't give me the right output.
Yeah.
So I think as a society, as we start to integrate AI, it'll help us to communicate better, because ultimately we're all being trained by a machine.
It is true. I have someone who uses it as their therapist, and I thought, that's fascinating.
Learns a lot about you.
It does learn a lot about you. So I have a question on the brand side, more for Jeff and Keegan. How are you guys leveraging AI for content? Is there anything that people should be thinking about to start using it to then generate better content, things like that?
Yeah, so AI, we're right in the middle, just finishing up a little bit of a rebrand, a refresh on the look and feel and the voice. We have not relied on AI a whole lot for that, and part of that is, yes, it could get done faster, but it doesn't yet have that. I guess the empathy, the creativity doesn't have that human touch that we've been able to bring in. With that being said, images may not be done by AI, but some of the written content is.
Yep, like the scripts.
The scripts.
And ideas.
Yep. And that's been a real blessing. That's been able to really advance the amount that we can get out, and what it spits out, we can quickly correct and say, okay, let's put a little bit more in the brand voice and then put it out there. It's changed our speed and our ability to get things out and turn them fast.
Yeah.
We've got a very small team, and it has been a big blessing for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. It's weird to think back and be like, oh, I had to write a marketing brief, where now it's like 10 seconds. Okay, my marketing brief is done.
Yep.
On to the next. Like it's totally crazy where we're at now. Keegan, what about you guys?
I think the main spots that we've used it recently has been helping with a lot of audits with SEO content, looking into how we can, boost our rankings for which words are, all the SEO jargon we can get into for a while. But I think that Google is getting smarter with that as well. So that is the human touch that you also need to think about. You can't just rely on it completely. Of course, using it for our customers on our product pages. And most recently, we actually have been using it mainly for alt text to stay ADA compliant on websites.
Oh,
You got to be very smart about that.
Yeah.
And with how big our websites are, there's a lot that goes into it. So just making sure that we have good ADA compliant text, and did like a whole refresh of that. And yeah, it helped save us a ton of time, because if you know Shopify, there is no way to bulk do that. So you have to find ways that can work with that. So it's helped a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Now, before we get into Q&A with the audience here, I want to know what prompt has changed your life. Is there anything people can start thinking about to get better at using some of these AI tools so that they're more familiar integrating with more of like a rapid talk or an anagram, things like that?
What question am I not asking?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. AI is it's not what you're asking, it's what you're not asking. It's how to ask the question. You have to almost train the AI model to respond the way that you need it to, but you got to start asking your questions and start really just digging in. It's what are you not asking?
Yeah.
Try to break it.
Yeah.
Just see what you can get it to not answer. Like that. How can you break the system? And then what's awesome with Anagram is then if you do break it, you can go in and add data sources and fix it. And then all of a sudden it's learning.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing too, is if you are a brand and you need a bunch of data sources to then feed the AI. So I think that's a big thing, is what would you recommend brands starting today where they might not have enough data to then import, like to a rapid talk or an anagram? Where should they start?
What's your prompt?
My prompt is, I cannot go raise money, so give me all of the marketing materials and everything that I need to do to become a multi-million-dollar brand. And then it spits everything out for me. And it's like, you go, girl. It'll say that to me. And I'm like, thank you. Like, this is great. And it just really boosts your spirits. So try it out, everybody. Now I forgot my question. What was it?
Me too.
Well, that might mean opening it up to the audience right now, because we just ended on a great note. Are there any questions specific that you guys have you can ask directly to any of these guys here, or just in general? Or I can bring a mic to you guys. And don't be shy.
Yeah, question for Keegan or Jeff. Are you guys currently leveraging any tool to do outreach for abandoned carts with AI?
We are, yes. We use,
Cool.
we have our email and SMS platforms that we use for abandoned carts. Does fantastic for us.
And is that workflow, or is that like bespoke like on a per customer basis?
On a per customer basis.
Nice. What have you seen like happen like as a result of that?
Oh, our abandoned cart rate has dropped significantly. We're able to pick up a lot more of those customers. We've over the past 6 months since we've got that in place, we've seen a 15% increase in lift on revenue just from that one element. So it's been, it's a game changer.
Very cool.
All right, anyone else? Jono.
Rapid talk guy. Sorry, what's your name?
Carl.
Carl. Sorry. Have you ever had customers run ads directly to a rapid talk funnel?
Yeah, great question. How many of you guys have heard of local service ads? Are any of you in service-based businesses? Cool. So Google has a new platform, I would say in the last year, depending on what industry you're in, it could be last month, called local service ads that are Google guaranteed ads. So if you went on your phone right now and looked for a plumber near me, there's plumbers that are running Google guaranteed ads. They would be in that top position before sponsored, before the actual domain name. So as a consumer, that's great because you're literally seeing the plumber near me right there. Interesting fact that you cannot read online, and I've paid the idiot tax tenfold to teach you this today, and that's that on Google guaranteed ads, if you have a phone number and a phone number that they can text, they don't have to necessarily be the same, and you move from the top position to the second position to the third every single time that you don't answer a call within 30 seconds or answer a text message within 30 seconds, and that phone call is not 30 seconds long. So every time that happens, you move to the second position, the third position, you're paying the same amount as that person that was on top. That stinks. So using a solution like Rapid Talk to make sure that you answer that phone every time, ring your actual location within 20 seconds. If they don't pick up, have your IVR or your phone system kick it out to AI to answer it. Now you always stay in that top position. Secondly to that, because I know you didn't ask for Google Guaranteed, is that having click-to-call ads are typically significantly cheaper than your other ad sets and ad types that you can run on different platforms. So with that being said, not only does your ad cost go down to acquire a customer, but typically in a speed example, you're giving the customer the answer significantly faster because that AI tool should be leveraging the database that you've fed it to give the answers. And let's be honest, your larger companies have, whether it's a handbook, a virtual handbook, your call center software has it all in there, but it still takes time to learn. The biggest use case that we have today is a customer called KBid Auctions. They have 14 million items live on their website today, and we scrape that in 2 milliseconds to regurgitate the information of that actual ad. So there's no way that you could do that faster as a human. So yes, leverage AI heavily when running ads for click-to-call, click-to-text, or Facebook lead form, immediately kick it through your CRM and have your AI reach out. That answer it?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
All right, any other questions we have? I feel like there's one more. I can just feel it. There is. I felt it.
So this is kind of outside of AI, but just curious about each of your 4 backgrounds and kind of how you got into the role you're in now. I know this could be a lengthy answer, but maybe just a quick version.
So I started in the customer service realm. I ran and operated a number of large call centers that did customer service and lead generation for companies. Had 1,400 phone reps, so I feel the pain of the call centers. I've been there, done that. A lot of that was done both in the U.S. and externally over in the Philippines. So yeah, that's my background is call centers, customer service, and then moving into direct-to-consumer.
Jeff is also Built's first employee.
Yes.
Go for it.
So I was born on. So I started my e-com journey with a small local company, Qualitry. Some people might know about that. We were about a 7-person team, and we did our first $5 million year, which was really fun to be a part of. So I was wearing every hat, from running events, social media, website, product development, everything. Then I was with POC for 4 years, running our websites. Started with North America, then was on our global digital team, so I helped with our European, Asia Pacific, Japanese websites, everywhere. And then I've been in a couple of other roles in Kent for a year and a half now, just over. So we have about 17 brands that we are in charge of. So each brand has their own team, so I interact differently with all of them, and it's fun. Again, big brands never had been D2C, so it's been a roller coaster of a ride to grow them, but it's really fun. So, and all the opportunity in the world. So,
I'll share something I didn't share earlier, and that's that 32 years ago, my parents were trying to have a baby, and in vitro fertilization became a thing. And yeah, my parents spent almost all the money that they had to attempt to create a Carl. And I was the 100th in vitro baby in the state of Florida. And I think that my parents asked for a lot of sugar, a little bit of spice, and a lot of spirit. And I would say that what catapults my entrepreneurship journey is the ability for my parents to allow me to mess up. I took apart their cars at the age of 14 years old. I had half the car out in the driveway, and they didn't mind as long as I could put it back together, which most of the time I could. So I think that, I really attribute my success to my parents giving me the ability to mess up.
That is amazing, Carl. Round of applause for all of these guys today. And now the real man, the myth, the legend. Matt, we'll let you take it away.
Thanks, and let me get rid of this little notification up here too. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Let's see. No, I don't want to escape that. I just want to close that. Okay. That was awesome. Carl, I feel like you'd be a really fun guy to hang out with. Like we should go get some drinks or something. You're kind of hilarious.
We went skiing on Sunday, and it was great.
I was going to say, you remind me of when I was younger. No, anyway. Okay, so just a few things upcoming. I'm just going to skip right and just tell you what they are. So first of all, if you'd like to join Commerce Catalyst, I'm not sure how you guys got here or not. If you registered for the event, you got added to our newsletter. Sorry, a little automation there. But if you're not on the newsletter and want to get notified for upcoming events, we've got our newsletter. And if you're not aware, we have a Slack group. It's really helpful. People go in there, post questions, get help all the time. It's one of my favorite things. It's just kind of one of those fun, organic things that is Catalyst in our community. And then for some upcoming events, we've got 2 coming up that I just want to put on your radar. Oh, maybe I need to hit refresh because we just refreshed that. Here we go. So we actually have 2 things. We're doing an email workshop and lunch and learn on April 2nd. So Jimmy Kim is flying into town for this. If you're on the brand side or an agency, the workshop's format is kind of like part presentation, part discussion. It's incredibly valuable. So that's one on the left. And then we're also a sponsor at a jazz event. So this is something that Corso did last year. We're doing it again this year. We'll actually be able to play basketball on the court in the Delta Center. So if that's the one on the right, you can apply to go to that one. It's really, really fun. I mean, it's just kind of unreal. We'll have some food there, sponsors. It's going to be a blast. So again, this is kind of the stuff we do with Commerce Catalyst. So appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you, Silicon Slopes, for supporting the community and let us host our events here, and Dave, who's back in the booth there. And again, thank you for everybody coming out.
Thanks, Matt.